Using your emergency savings for every unexpected expense, you're doing it wrong. And it's one of the biggest reasons you can't seem to get ahead. Your car needs new brakes. Boom, emergency savings. The water heater dies. Emergency savings. The dog needs an expensive vet visit. You guessed it. The emergency savings takes another hit. It feels like you're being responsible, but what's really happening is you're draining the one account that's supposed to be there when life really blindsides you. The truth is, there's a better solution, and it's the key to breaking out of that constant money stress. And if you've been feeling stuck in that cycle for a while, like all you do is work and pay bills and start over every single month, I'd love to help you map out a clear plan to get ahead. I offer a free wealth activation breakthrough call where we align your financial goals with the life you truly want and lay out your exact next steps. You can find the link in the description below so you can sign up for your call today. In today's video, we're talking about what you're getting wrong about your emergency savings and how to fix it so that your account is actually doing its job when you need it the most. You put so much effort into carefully creating this buffer in case of an emergency, so why are you using it for the small, unexpected expenses that inevitably pop up? Right now, you're probably asking yourself, wasn't that the point of setting it up in the first place? No, not exactly. In fact, dipping into your emergency savings for every little bump in the road is one of the worst financial habits you can fall into. And here's why. Your emergency savings is like a fire extinguisher. You hope you'll never use it, but when you do, it's because something big has seriously gone wrong. If you're constantly using that money for things like upgrading something that still works, like replacing your phone because of a chipped screen, even though it works perfectly fine, or covering a regular monthly expense because you accidentally overspent last month, or maybe because your paycheck came up short, or buying something that's been on your must-have list forever just because it's suddenly on sale, and you promise yourself you'll pay it back later. When you do this, you're keeping yourself in a state of constant recovery mode. And here's the problem. The moment you take money out, you're vulnerable again. If a real crisis hits, like a job loss, medical emergency, you might not have anything left or might not have enough to get you through it. And that's when people end up turning to credit cards or loans. And before you know it, you're back in debt, wiping out all the progress you worked so hard for. The truth is, not all unexpected expenses are emergencies, and treating them like they are is what's keeping you from building real wealth and financial freedom. And you know what? Even if you only touch your emergency savings for true emergencies, there's still one piece that's keeping you from feeling financially secure, from having true financial freedom. And we'll talk about that in a second. But first, how do you know what's a true emergency? I use a simple three-part test. It has to be unexpected, necessary, or urgent. Unexpected is you didn't see it coming. Necessary, it truly needs to be handled now, and urgent means delaying it could make it worse or more expensive. Here's a few examples of some true emergencies. A sudden job loss. Your income stops and you need to cover essentials until you can replace it. A medical crisis. Urgent healthcare expenses you can't delay. Or critical car repairs. Something that directly prevents you from getting to work or earning income. And here's the reality a lot of financial experts miss. Most middle-class working families, they're not blowing their emergency fund on concert tickets. What's really happening is they put off things that should have been taken care of until they become an emergency. And then they end up using their emergency fund as a patch or a band-aid to cover the problem. I'm talking about things like new tires or brakes. You knew you needed to replace back in April, but now it's October and they can't wait any longer. Property taxes. You knew they were coming, but you never set money aside, and now there's no ignoring them. or that hot water heater that's been dying for months. That's not a true emergency. It's a missed opportunity for planning better. The bottom line, every time you treat a bad day like a 5 alarm fire, you drain the very safety net that's meant to keep you steady when life throws its biggest curveballs at you. Those everyday bumps, like car repairs, replacing an appliance, or covering a gap in your income, they belong in a completely different account, an account that literally creates a cash flow buffer. I call it your freedom fund. Think of it as the middle layer between your main spending account and your emergency fund. Your main spending account handles your day-to-day spending. Your emergency fund is for those true, unexpected disasters. And the cash flow buffer that's in between, your freedom fund, that's a shock absorber, ready for the small surprises that life throws your way. Now, here's why it's so important. Without this middle layer, every flat tire, every late paycheck, every appliance breakdown sends you straight into your emergency savings. You're draining your safety net for situations that shouldn't count as emergencies in the first place, and that leaves you exposed when a real crisis hits. Instead, use your freedom fund and let it take the hit so that your emergency savings stays untouched. The car repair gets paid without a second thought. The week your paycheck comes in short, your bills still get covered. The timing gap between when expenses hit and income lands, that's nothing to stress about. Freedom is exactly what the cash flow buffer gives you. But here's the thing, even with a fully stocked freedom fund, there's still one mistake that can undo all your hard work. But before we get there, let's walk through how to set this up so that you truly have freedom to handle life's bumps without derailing your progress. Step 1, open a separate savings account at your current bank or a different one. It can be a high-yield savings account, a money market account, or just any regular savings account. This fund is about protection, not wealth building. If it earns interest, cool, that's a bonus, but it's not the goal. Step 2, set your initial target. Think about the times that you've dipped into your emergency savings for smaller expenses. Was it a few hundred? Was it a couple of thousand? Give yourself a range, like say $500 to $2,000, and aim to reach it in the next 6 months. Step 3, decide how much you can contribute each payday and automate it. Have that money transferred directly into your freedom fund so you don't have to remember. Once you reach your target buffer, something changes. The stress drops. You stop robbing your emergency fund for the minor hiccups. You stop racking up credit card debt for timing issues. You start living from a place of stability instead of constant reaction. One of the biggest mistakes people make after building a freedom fund or an emergency fund is that the first time they use it, they never fill it back up. They feel like, oh, I've failed. I used my emergency fund. Like all that effort was wasted. Here's the truth. Using an emergency fund is not failure. It's a very clear sign that the system is working exactly the way it's supposed to. Think of it like a firefighter's water tank. After every single call, what's one thing that they always do? They refill it. They don't wait until the next fire and, I hope that there's still enough water left in there. No, they know that the next emergency could hit at any time, so they make refilling the tank a non-negotiable action. Your freedom fund and your emergency fund work the same way. If you had to dip into your cash flow buffer to cover a repair or a gap in income, refill it. If a real emergency drained your emergency fund, refill it. The key is to start contributions again immediately, even if it's just a small amount. The longer you wait, the more exposed you are. This is something I talk about in my lifestyle budgeting framework. Sometimes you have to take a step back for a short time and free up some extra money and direct it into the account that you drew from. That's not punishment or a sign of bad money management. It's simply the system doing its thing. And you know what? This is exactly how you stay protected. Use the fund for exactly what it's meant for. Refill it right away, just like that firefighter's tank. That's what keeps you ready for the next unplanned moment without sliding backwards into debt or panic mode. And if you've been struggling to set up or rebuild those buffers in a way that actually fits your real life and goals, that's something we could work on in my free wealth activation breakthrough call. In 30 minutes, we can look at your situation, uncover what's keeping you stuck, and map out the first steps to building financial breathing room without feeling like you're starting from scratch. I'll drop the link in the description below so you can grab your spot today. If you've had to dip into your buffer or your emergency fund and you're wondering how to bounce back fast, I've got a full wealth reset process that walks you through exactly how to do it step by step. You can watch that video right here next.